Welcome to Dinner Party Somewhere. Where are we, you may ask? We're in Woodstock, New York. Actually, we're in Saugerties, where I am recording 3 songs with Michael Birnbaum of oyster shucking fame in his studio, Applehead Recordings. We're sort of doing a mashup of Dinner Party Tonight and Woodstock Sessions, which is a sort of sleepaway recording camp for some pretty big shot artists. So I thought what we should do is do a family meal for the Dinner Party Tonight team. Yay! And for the musicians, Sam Quiggins and Jonathan Gutfeld, and of course, Paul Carbonara, who's the music designer for Axis and also the sound designer, and also another very, very best friend. And for Mike and his engineer, Chris Bittner. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a family dinner for tomorrow evening after we finish recording the songs. 3 songs. I just wanna add, it's out of my comfort zone. That's all I'm saying. But the dinner is not out of my comfort zone. Don't worry, Leonard's here. And also Miss Daisy, or Da, as we call her. So here we go. I thought we would make Beef Bourguignon. Now, Beef Bourguignon is very similar to coq au vin, which we've made. And actually, it is a basic skill, braising, which is pan-global. For instance, curry is essentially coq au vin or beef bourguignon with different flavors. So we're just gonna make a beautiful beef bourguignon for 12, I believe. And when we bought the meat, of course, we take our butcher. We're just gonna simmer this thing for 3 to 6 hours, actually overnight, or whatever you'd like. You can eat it straight away. You know, is it better a few hours later? Sure, it's a little better a few hours later, but it's pretty excellent straight off the stove. Beef bourguignon, it's coming on. Beef bourguignon, it's coming on strong. Oh, look at this beauty. I got this for Mike at the very famous store E. Delarin in Paris. You can't go to Paris if you cook and not go to E. Delarin. So this is Michael's stove. There we go. I'm gonna make this pretty hot, and I'm gonna use a high smoke point oil, not olive oil, just a little to coat the bottom. Wet meat doesn't sear, so you wanna dry this a little bit, okay? With a paper towel. So I'm gonna liberally salt and pepper. You know the drill, guys, you're dinner partiers, right? Just wanna salt and pepper this up before we sear it off. Now, like any braise, like coq au vin, like curry, like anything that you're making, the only color that this is going to get is at the sear. Remember that this is the only time it's ever gonna get color. Now, a question you might ask is, does it really matter? It doesn't really matter. So I'm doing a cardinal sin, which is I'm overcrowding. Nothing should touch, but I'm totally disobeying that rule. What is the thing we always say? If it doesn't move, don't force it. If it doesn't move, see how that's stuck? It's not seared. You want to wait until it moves freely of its own accord. Then it's sealed. Great. So just getting a little bit of color. Should really put a little bacon in the bottom of this, but we didn't do that. These guys who are working for me in such an insane way, the people right here and the people in the studio tomorrow, it's really the only way you can thank them, obviously, besides compensating them financially. So I'm gonna turn this up really high because I got bored and I threw it all in, so now it's overcrowded. Now, I'm gonna show you a mistake that happened so that you understand that mistakes are okay. I put in the meat all at once. And what happened was the meat released a lot of juice, and I'm in danger of boiling this. Now, with beef bourguignon, is it the end of the world? Not really, but it's unlikely that it's gonna sear now, which is my fault. So don't worry about that, you messed it up. It's beef bourguignon, okay?
Are they gonna go like, my meat wasn't, this piece of meat I have here wasn't seared correctly? Never coming here for dinner again.
That's not gonna happen. Okay, turn this down. And we're gonna start the mirepoix. You remember mirepoix, or mirepoix as Americans say? It's simply celery, onion, and carrot. Okay, I'm putting in the onions. You can use shallots or onions. Oh, do you know that the Saint, who is streaming MasterChef The Professionals UK on YouTube, found some weird episode which is all former stars competing against each other. Reg, come on. Okay, sweat those off. I put the onions in first, then I'm gonna put the carrots. So you're just gonna cook this off until carrots are soft, which is not right now. A little salt and pepper. All right, I'm gonna throw in the celery. We're almost at the braising phase, which is the relaxing phase. Looks nice, right? So what you're doing, just like with the curry, just like with the coq au vin, you're making a sort of nasty, for the bottom of the stew. That's what a mirepoix is. So this is nice and soft and nasty, and it's kind of slightly starting to disintegrate. I'm gonna pour my meat back, as well as the juice that collected in the bottom, and I'm gonna mix it all together. I'm gonna coat this with flour, like this. Gently stir it around. You wanna be able to see white. You wanna be able to see flour. One more. What this does is it makes a little crust on the meat, and it also thickens your broth, or your liquor, as they say. Now we're gonna flambe, but we couldn't find any matches, so we're gonna do something a little bit scary, which is we're gonna flambe with a rolled up paper towel. Perfect. Oh my God, it totally worked. Good job, Nick. Yay! Does the flambe do anything? Well, that's a big question. Does the flambe change the flavor? In my opinion, it does. I would usually do 2, but I'm a little nervous. Should I do 2? Now, Gordon and those guys, they can flambe by tipping the pan. I don't know, I've never been able to do that. Don't be afraid to flambe. What, I mean, give me a break. Are you gonna burn the house down? I'm gonna put in about half of this can of tomato paste, and I'm gonna keep this on hand because I might add it as we go. Now you're gonna mush this around. This is a bottle of wine. Never cook with wine you wouldn't drink. So there's really no such thing as cooking wine. I'm gonna pour in a bottle of wine, which is gonna deglaze the bottom of your pan also. And I'm kind of gently scraping the bottom to get the pieces of burnt onion and yumminess that's down there, right? I'm just gonna put a little bit of beef broth in here so that only the tops of the meat shows above the liquid. So now I'm gonna bring it up to a full boil, and then you reduce it. I'm actually gonna put a tiny bit more of tomato paste in. Have a bowl like this to put your spoon. Michael has so many beautiful bowls here. You wanna be able to not drip messes everywhere while you're doing this, because this will take 3 hours, straight up, okay, before it's soft. The meat should fall away. So I'm waiting for this to come to a full boil. I leave mine on the top. Julia tells you to put it in the oven. I'm just gonna give a quick taste for flavorings. This is not ready yet, obviously. So what I taste right now is a lot of raw wine, but the seasoning is correct. It's boiling pretty vigorously. Turn it down to the lowest setting and leave a big space like that. Just keep an eye on it. Braise does not mean boil. Braise is bloop, 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 bloop. So every now and again you want to check this. Make sure you don't need to add some beef broth or check seasoning. And then eventually what will happen is you'll take a piece of the meat out and it'll just fall apart in your hand. After you've braised it, you can let it come to room temperature. Never put something warm or hot in the fridge, ever. And then you can refrigerate it overnight. Some of the fat will come to the top. It's easier actually to take the fat off if you refrigerate it. This was pretty lean, so I'm not overly concerned. All right, beef bourguignon. Come on. Maddie.
Yeah.
Maddie. Yeah. Oh, this is the Maddie that we talk about all the time. Maddie. Hey! You know that we have all these guys at the studio that are doing the record?
Yeah.
Does your dad have some kind of tablecloth?
You have a drop cloth.
Really?
Yeah.
Like we say?
Yeah.
I wonder if you got that idea from dinner party tonight. So you do have a drop cloth.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you can think of outside so it's not just a blank drop cloth? Like, is there
There's berries outside.
like a bittersweet or whatever? That's those red berries.
Yeah, like red berries.
Okay. Will you go out with me and maybe Reggie after when they're doing some other
of
shot?
course.
Will you do that?
Yeah.
All right. You know, magical dinners like doing when my friend Brian Barnhart's daughter was born. Linny and I went to the hotel to meet them in Pennsylvania, and there was nothing. It was a Residence Inn, right, Lynn?
That's right.
Right. And I'm like, we have to have a celebration that this baby's born. She was a little teeny weeny baby. And Lynn and I went to Target and we bought plates, napkins, wine glasses, and all the cookware. We brought it back to the Residence Inn. We had candles, we had lights, we had music playing. We made this like magic roast chicken dinner. You remember that?
It was incredible.
And we're like, we have to do this, and it just, so that's kind of what I'm going for. So if you can help me by going outside and help me find some stuff and everything, that'd be awesome. All right?
That's great.
Are you doing homework?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then come down when you're done.
All right, great.
All right, take that, babe. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye. Our beef bourguignon is perfectly room temperature. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for it to rest overnight. And tomorrow, we make music. Here we are in the studio. It's Michael Birnbaum, engineer and owner of Applehead. That's Chris Bittner. He's the engineer extraordinaire and producer of Applehead. This is Sam Quiggins, who played cello for Victor, which is very exciting. This is Paul Carbonara of Two Small Dogs and Victor, and so many plays at Axis. And they're actually rehearsing something for another recording. And this is Jonathan Gutfeldt, who also played on Victor. So it's very exciting that we're going to be making music together again. Am I right? Yay! How brave and strong. I'm sorry, there's a weird noise in here.
Do you hear it now? Shake back and forth on your chair.
Well, first of all, you're playing the wrong guitar.
That's hysterical.
No, this one.
With the whole time?
No, the first take you were fine.
That's totally right.
Yeah, there we go.
What's my dog doing?
Digging his teeth into Maddie's arm and snoring. Randy, you need anything in there?
A professional singer.
Yeah, right. And a seltzer to come with it, with the singer?
No. The Titans of the back way home.
Not that slow, Rand. You're doing great. Just sounds beautiful, Rand.
Okay, so this is the one that we picked. Kings of summer, how you've fallen. Still I hear your voices calling across the lawn now, cold and black. Rowboats pulled up on the grass. Brave, how brave and strong. How bright the days that feel. Sounds pretty good to me. Brave, my brothers, you once were. I miss the hearts that rage and burn. That's not bad, Chris.
Awesome.
See how the mighty are laid low. Titans of the back way home. Nice. The no hands riders ride no more. Now they're ghosts at the candy store. Brave,
bright the days that feel so long.
Did you pitch correct this?
Brave my
You can sing in tune, man.
You sing very in tune.
You really do. You sing, always sing in tune.
That's like really in tune.
In the city after the rain
This
tonight,
is the most important part.
look at the stars and the satellites. There's not one as bright and true as the shining light that once was you. How brave, how brave and strong. How dark the night that feels so long.
Word.
Brave, my brothers, we once were. Broken hearts can rage and burn.
That's fine.
It's old.
So that's a song about my family friend Jeff Newhoff, you guys. You guys are too young, except for Mike and Paul. But in this, before like Watergate, there was like a different kind of teenage boy, but I don't know, maybe Madeline would say that they still exist, I don't know.
Just
Where it
not
looked
as
like
aware
the
of
sun
them.
was always like right behind their head. They were like, and Jeff was buying a drink for his wife.
At a bar.
At a
right?
bar, a couple years ago. Took the drink like this, turned around and dropped dead.
Whoa.
And it was like, for them, for my brother and my cousin, it was really like the first like god to die. Jeff was the king of the street. You know, they could do the water skiing like this on one stick, you know? What's it called? Like mono skiing?
Slalom.
Anyway, so poor Jeff Newhoff, and God, I hope that my brother and Paul know that I wrote that. Actually, the weekend we went to his funeral, I wrote that song.
Yeah.
When did the documentary come out, Michael?
It's got to be 7, 8 years ago.
Is it really that long?
Seems like it.
It seems like I wrote the song yesterday. The movie's called Deep Water, and you should get it immediately when you go home and watch it, because it's a beautifully made documentary. This guy, Donald Crowhurst, was like you guys in terms of his sailing ability. Like, do you know how to sail, kind of? I mean, I know how to sail, like, sort of.
In principle.
Yeah, he entered a race called the Golden Globe, which was a circumnavigation race involving some of the greatest sailors in the world. In fact, legendary sailors. But the world got behind him because they all thought, oh, here's this little guy, he's going to win the Golden Globe.
And also the English papers hyped it up.
English papers pushed. So they're like, here's this English guy, he's like a no-name person. And so he mortgaged his house, he has 3 children. In order to buy this boat, they were deeply in debt. They had to outfit the boat. They missed the start because the boat was all screwed up. It was like a homemade catamaran. A week and a half into the race, and it's like he can't. It's way over his head.
Where exactly do they race?
They go down from England.
Across the Atlantic.
Across the Atlantic. They go around the Horn, around the bottom, and back up to England. So it's the southern route, but it's a very dangerous water.
It's a good way to die.
Especially the Horn. So what he does is he goes in and hides on the right-hand side of South America.
Like off the coast of Brazil.
Yes,
Brazil or Argentina,
and he
right, yeah.
proceeds to send false coordinates as to where he is. So he begins to win the race.
And the newspaper's charting him point by
and
point.
the because there's no, there's no satellite. And then basically he hid there until the other boats came around the other side, and then he came back in like this. And then he disappeared. And they found the boat. He went absolutely mad on the boat. And he produced 2 maps. One map was the map he was sending to the newspaper. and one map was Crowhurst's actual, which is the map where he really was, which is actually tattooed on my arm here, underneath the wing. And these are his stops, and then it just fades out where he disappeared. So what he did was irresponsible in the deepest sense, but also he just got caught up in that, and he couldn't stop it, but there was also a part of him that thought he could do it.
Whenever you're ready, man.
1, 2,
Hold
3.
on. Just dampen the piano.
Dampen the
Let
piano.
the piano stop ringing. Yeah.
In 1968, I was 5. My mother wanted to live quietly. She's a jet-set refugee, you see. But if you've gotta shut down, what better town than this one in the South Downs? Just a little village on the green.
Yeah, that's the good green.
We heard of a man who would sail the 7 seas. We heard he would do it single-handedly, like me. Like me. "50-odd years flies by.
Nice.
And I've won a few, lost a few, seen a few, and turned a blind eye.
That's good.
But I've lived the dream, I cannot lie. You I've loved, you I miss, you I'll forgive, or I'll try. We heard of a man who would sail the 7 seas.
That one's good.
We heard he would do it single-handedly, like me. Crowhurst actual, what kind of map is that? He's got one line for the dream, one line for the fact. We all have a map like that. Who knows what's coming round the bend? Oh, let's see what the next few years send.
That's not bad.
Crowhurst map, I saw it on TV. He's got one line for the fact, one line for the dream. Out on the sea, single-handedly, a steadfast refugee like me.
It's not perfect.
It's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
Anyway, that's Crowhurst.
Is Randy in there?
Yes.
Thanks. Don't go away. Let's try it.
All right.
Is that liquor?
It's seltzer and wine.
Drinking on the job.
We're getting close to the close of day. All you suckers that live with people.
All these people here live with somebody.
You have no idea what you're missing.
Quiet New York, asleep in the snow. Here we go looking from my window. Everyone is home. It's not so hard to live alone with everybody home tonight. It feels all right. Stand in the hall, the evening falls. Lock it all behind me now. And the windows of the cab are filled with flakes of snow. Let's take the long way home. Just go. It's not so hard to live alone with everybody home tonight. It feels all right. Come home in the night and unlock my door. Who could ever ask for more? At the turning of the stairs,
That's from Edgar.
I wonder what's before me. Beep.
Right. Death tapping you on the shoulder.
It's not so hard to live alone.
Sting phrasing.
Everybody home tonight. It feels all right.
Do you count yourself as living alone, Mike?
Essentially.
He has a teenage daughter, you know. Who lives alone in here? You get a lot of flack from people who live with people that it's like, they're like, don't you want to live with somebody? Don't you get lonely?
You guys gonna move in?
Are you guys gonna move in? And I wrote that song because I was like, you know, everybody's like, people would say to me constantly that phrase, it must be really hard to live alone. It must be really hard, right? It's not so hard, trust me.
I used to live with Randy. She's very happy to live alone now.
When I leave my house, and I'm not being snotty, I know that having kids and having a partner and stuff is also awesome, but it's like, when I leave the house to go to rehearsal, and when I come back in my house, it's exactly the way I left it.
That's awesome.
The channel, when I turn on the TV, it's on the channel I was watching. When you come back in your house, is it exactly how you left it?
I mean, the kid it up.
Don't say
The kid alters it.
But also, it's not so hard to live alone.
I like it.
And in New York, everybody's home. You're not alone. And I have a dog.
So you don't really live alone.
No. I'm going to get 2 more dogs, I think.
Yeah, you talk about it.
I'm going to become the crazy dog lady.
You talk about it.
Become.
When I first heard the song, I thought it was a sad song, and then the way you sang, I was like, "Oh, you're not sad
No.
at all." And it's like triumphant. You know?
It is triumphant. Can you believe I sang for an entire freaking day? I've never sung that long in my life. I think it went okay. Of course, how will we ever know? So we're gonna feed all these people, and Lexi Mulvey is gonna help me today. So what we're gonna do, this is Lexi. She's helping me. It's awesome. The things we have to do are saute the mushrooms, for which I need a piece of butter about yay big, if it's, you know, like a big hunk of butter from the fridge. And I'm gonna assemble the salad, and I'm gonna heat up the beef bourguignon. Oh! What happened? It got super big. How could it possibly be true? Why, it's almost as if a professional chef brought us a beef bourguignon. Rick Orlando, who's a professional chef, I believe he's a chop champion and a local celebrity, made us a beautiful beef bourguignon, to which we're going to add my beef bourguignon. But first of all, we're going to saute the mushrooms. So give me that big piece of butter and we'll do this. Can you move my beef bourguignon to the other burner? So it's really hot pan butter. That's right. So basically I'm just gonna cut the nose off this. So some people don't like mushrooms. I usually ask, do you like mushrooms?
I do like mushrooms.
Okay. Do you like wild mushrooms?
I like almost everything. So.
Yeah, me too. Okay, what you're gonna do is cut this like this, like we did the onion.
Same thing.
And just give me thin slices. So the boys are over there singing harmonies to the songs that we recorded, which we didn't discuss, but the truth is the harmonies are great. But it's a little weird to walk into a building, the studio building, which is down the driveway, and hear people singing harmonies to your song. I'm just breaking these in half. All right, so I'm gonna saute these up. Lexi, because people are gonna start coming, maybe we should get, Lexi's also a bartender, maybe we should get like Mike's tequila and like get some stuff going. And basically this has a name, I forget what the name is in French. It has some dumb name. Or something. We're gonna leave ours separate because we have non-mushroom lovers. I make a crispy, like hen of the woods thing. It's like crispy mushrooms, which is a big favorite with vegetarians. It's kind of like bacon. This is something that I've only read about. It's called savory, and it's an herb. And it's something that you read about in like history of English food and stuff like that, these books that I read incessantly. But it's strange. Smell this. It has a weird, it's like between rosemary and something.
Oh.
I'm just gonna throw a little bit of this in the mushrooms. Now, what do you serve it with? Some people serve it with rice. Some people serve it with noodles. I prefer noodles. Some people serve it with polenta, which just seems like, you want these to be sort of softened. So I'm just gonna let these kind of do their thing. Salad. Always remember the golden rule. Your guests don't wanna see this plastic box. I don't care how clean this is, okay? And my fans have certainly responded that they're varying levels of clean in triple wash salad, okay? And I agree with them. So do this before they get here. Wow, there's a lot of salad in here. So we made some light pickle Romanesco that I'm gonna mess around with. It needs a little work. These amazing, see that shape? For quick pickles, just look at any quick pickle from Dinner Party Tonight. I just put a little pepper mix in there, which I think is gonna fix it. This is the most amazing thing in the world. Buy a camembert, take it out of the wrapper, put pieces of herbs in the bottom of the box, tie the box closed with a string. Remember to do this. Pierce the camembert and pour vermouth on it. Put it in the oven and bake it. When it's bubbly and brown, take it out of the oven, put crackers around it like this. I'm telling you, it's a winner every time. Don't forget to tie the box. Here's to us, who's like us, damn few and they're all dead. Don't clink or we all have to clink.
Don't do it.
What an incredible accomplishment.
Huzzah!
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 Together forever, just as close to is to three. I want you that close to me.
What's that one called? What is it called?
Together.
Is it called Together?
Yes, it's called Together.
When I need love, hold out my hand and
Yes.
I never liked that song.
Never knew there was so much love. So we used to go to the vineyard. I know people have heard these stories 50 times. Some of the people at the table, but we were on the Barbados, which I hated.
I figured that.
I'm fair as hell. I can't go in the sun. Nobody does anything all day until 6:30 at night. There's nothing happening. It's boring and it's very scary at night. Grass felt weird under your feet. It was prickly. So was Ahmed during the heyday, Eric Clapton and all this crap. Zeppelin's at some house over here, Clapton's here, blah, blah. And there was this guy, and this guy was having a nervous breakdown. Oh. All right, the whole freaking time. He's like freaking out. And he's like, like every dinner we'd go to, he's like, you guys, and he'd like pass out in this place. Yeah. I'm a wreck, I'm never gonna make it, I'm a disaster. As we have said many times at the theater. Oh, you guys, you know. So then one night in the middle of the night, and I always wore a nightdress, and I still do wear a nightdress. I push the glass screen door because it's Barbados, right? Everything's like steaming hot. There's no AC.
On the weird grin.
And I get this weird feeling that something's happening. It's pitch black dark, and I see our house is facing the sea, the Caribbean Sea. And I see lined up on the shoreline figures of people like this, all standing like this. Like person, sea crashing, me walking from the room. I get up to the line of people, and I notice that there's a man in the sea, okay? And the man is roiling around in the medium water, like not safe, okay? Screaming, I risked everything! I risked everything! And there's my dad and Ahmed's like, just come out of the water. It's gonna be fine. And my dad's like standing there. Finally, the guy literally gets thrown up on the shore by the sea. And they pull him like this, like in Jaws when they pull the guy out of the water and you see his legs are okay. They pull him out of the water, and he goes, Ahmed, I blew it all. He's lying in the sand. He's covered in sand. He has long, curly, blonde hair. There's like sand across his face, sand in his teeth, cracks. Right? He's like standing on his tongue. He's like, I blew it, man. And Ahmed's like, Stig, it's gonna be fine. The movie's gonna be great. The band's awesome. And of course, the movie was Saturday Night Fever. The band was the Bee Gees.
That was mega hit.
And the man was Robert Stigwood. So every time that you feel like you want to go, I'm gonna kill myself, like every play I do, just remember Stig. It's gonna be fine. So we can transition to dessert. Dessert.
It's really tasty. Yeah.
It's an olive oil cake.
The color is like olive oil, I see.
But the recipe and the way to make it is on the show.
My favorite cake.
You guys! Thank you so much for coming with us on this nutball adventure where somebody like me, and I really mean this, gets the privilege of recording music with a professional band of talent and nuance, recording at Applehead Studio for Woodstock Sessions. Thank you for watching. Dinner party tonight! It's absolutely incredible to me that people can do this on intoxicated. I don't know how they could do it.
Some people do it better intoxicated. Well, I gotta be honest, there are definitely some records where you can hear the cocaine.